By this point next week, the NFL season will officially be underway. So we are getting in some future picks now, like who will win Coach of the Year. Well, Chargers head coach, that guy right there, Brandon Staley, the current betting favorite. Only the Chargers probably actually need to make it to the postseason, something they have not done since 2018. So odds to win Coach of the Year, as I mentioned, Staley is the favorite, followed by Doug Peterson taking over the reins there in Jacksonville. Kyle Shanahan with the 49ers is, well, they're all 1,500 right here, if you include him and Kevin O'Connell and Mike Vrabel as well, and Nathaniel Hackett and Sean McVay. I read that full screen really well there, Tyler Sullivan.
You get a 1,500.
You get a 1,500. But that, you're going with one of the guys in that area here. We asked you for some of your 6 best picks. We're calling them your 6-pack picks. So I'm not sure if that's, if you want like a 6-pack and a beer or abs, like it's one or the other. So you're going with Doug Peterson, though, to win Coach of the Year. Why is that?
Yeah, for me, it's definitely beer, not the 6-pack abs.
Yeah.
I'll take the beer every time, especially on a Friday. But yes, we're going with Doug Peterson here with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know he's in that 1,500 range now, but it wasn't too long ago where he was 30-1. So it seems like things are kind of picking up for him, whether money is being bet there or the odds makers are kind of getting wise to this and shifting it a little bit. But this guy, unlike other guys like Brandon Staley, who you were just saying, probably has to make the playoffs to have some contention for this award, the bar isn't that high for Doug Peterson. It's really just stabling the Jacksonville Jaguars after the dumpster fire that was the Urban Meyer experience. If he makes them look like a competent football team and gets them over their win total of 6.5 this year, I think he's going to get some legitimate praise and some legitimate candidacy for this award. So you look at what he's able to do with Trevor Lawrence. Is he able to look like that generational quarterback that we saw at Clemson and coming into the NFL? If he's able to just stabilize things in Jacksonville, not even make the playoffs, just stabilize things, get over that win total, I think he'll get some votes.
Just be better. Just be better. Make them look competent. I like that there. Let's go with the teams with the #1 seed to finish with the #1 seed in the NFC. And actually, you're going with Doug Peterson's old team, the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is one of the more complete teams in the NFL. Obviously, the big question is, how is Jalen Hurts in year 2 under Nick Sirianni's system going to develop as a passer? From everything that we've seen so far in the preseason, it feels like he's going to make some strides. And not only does he look like he's just going to be better as a developing passer, but they've put weapons around him now. Obviously, A.J. Brown, the big acquisition this offseason. I think he's going to help this team tremendously move the football down the field. You have Dallas Goedert, Devonta Smith. You still have plenty of weapons at his disposal. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, obviously the defense too, they're making some moves as well. Obviously had a good draft, just made it acquiring a guy from the New Orleans Saints. They're going to be a better all-around football team. When you look at their schedule, that to me is the biggest thing. They have the second easiest schedule in the NFL when you look at their opponents' projected win totals for the year. So it is an easy path for them to pick up wins, unlike other teams like the Green Bay Packers, who still have issues trying to figure out what the offense is going to look like without Devontae Adams. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is Tom Brady going to take another 11-day hiatus? We don't know. So with the Philadelphia Eagles, for me, you get them at good value here to get the #1 seed in the NFC, and then all of a sudden, if the road to the Super Bowl to Glendale through the NFC is through Philadelphia, that's going to be tough for them.
We are going through some of your 6 best bets heading into the season, things where you really like the value on them there. You're also going with the Bears to be the worst scoring team in the NFL at +550.
Yeah, this one isn't as optimistic. If you're a Philly fan, you like exactly what I just said. If you're a Chicago Bears fan, you're not going to like this one too much. It's just, for me, I don't know if this team is going to put up a lot of points this season. And obviously, you do have to kind of, caveat this where it's not necessarily just the offense. This all accounts for special teams and defensive touchdowns and all of that too. So you have to keep that in mind. But when we look at the offense, you just have a bunch of concerns. As much as I like Justin Fields as a prospect, the weapons around him leave little to be desired. I mean, Darnell Mooney is a good young player, but it's not like it's, Devontae Adams or anything like that we've seen, or Justin Jefferson, other guys that used to be or are in that division. And when you look at the 10 games that Justin Fields started last year, this offense was only averaging 16.8 points per game. It's not like they were a juggernaut. Now, I think Justin Fields will get better in year 2, but the cast of characters around him and then a poor offensive line to me spells a team that's not going to score a lot of points this year.
Somewhere you're not bucking the trend here. You're going with the Chiefs to win the AFC West at +175. They have now had 6 straight division titles. This would be 7 for them. Why do you like this?
You know, I think that there's a narrative building against the Chiefs, and it reminds me a little bit of last year when all of a sudden you got midway through the year after week 7, they're an under 500 football team. You're counting them out. You're saying, okay, what's going wrong with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid? Is the magic gone? I feel like there's a little bit of that now just because of the AFC West getting better. Russell Wilson's in the division. Devontae Adams is in the division. The Chargers are going to get better with J.C. Jackson and Khalil Mack, and obviously Justin Herbert continuing his development. Meanwhile, you see the Chiefs lose Tyreek Hill, Tyrann Mathieu. I still think in spite of all of those things kind of working against the Chiefs, at least a narrative speaking, I think they're going to be a great football team. I think they're going to be, again, another dominant team that we've seen over the past few years under Patrick Mahomes. And so the continuity is still there between, obviously, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Yes, he needs to figure things out with his new weapons like Juju Smith-Schuster, Sky Moore, and obviously still has Mecole Hardman and Travis Kelce in terms of having a rapport. I think they're going to be just fine. Still have a great offensive line, and I think that this team, again, you're going to start looking up and say, you know what? It's kind of silly that we're doubting Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs all of a sudden. Yes, all those other teams are good, but they're not the Chiefs.
They just need a better start to the season than the one they had last year. You're making a pick for comeback player of the year. Goes Derrick Henry, Jameis Winston, then Christian McCaffrey, and that is who you are going with.
Yeah, you know, obviously, you know, health is a huge concern here with Christian McCaffrey, so you're holding your breath every single week. It's the same thing when you draft him number 1 or in your top 5 of your fantasy football league. You are tantalized by the upside of what Christian McCaffrey can do, because when he's healthy, he's arguably the most dangerous weapon in the NFL. And so when you're kind of looking at this award, obviously you're a little bit concerned about can he stay healthy, but you're looking at these odds, plus 900. And if he is healthy, everything around him is better. His quarterback's better. The offensive line's better. Obviously, drafting Ike Ekwonu in the first round, trading for Baker Mayfield. There are other pieces around this offense, so defenses won't have to key in on Christian McCaffrey. And again, it seems like he's fully healthy going into the year. And if we're going to assume he stays healthy, which again is a big if, but if he performs to the level that we've seen Christian McCaffrey do in the NFL, he's winning this award by a landslide.
You have a long shot here. It is Max Crosby with the Raiders to win Defensive Player of the Year. Look, this is a guy you just want to root for. He is 2.5 years sober now. He had one of his best seasons last year. Why do you like him as a long shot?
You know, again, great story for him, obviously. But when you look at the situation that he has, too, it's a very interesting case. Now, obviously, this is a long shot, so it's not, a guaranteed lock. It's not like I'm picking Aaron Donald or anything along those lines. But you look at his totals last year, according to Pro Football Focus, he led the league in pressures, over 100 pressures, but he only had 8 sacks. I feel like that's going to change. There's some discrepancy there. Obviously, if he continues to get after the quarterback and put pressure on the quarterback in that regard as he did last year, I think you're going to get more than 8 sacks. I just can't imagine that he doesn't get home more often than not. And all of a sudden, if you're talking about a guy that's a deep double-digit sack guy, 15, 17, I mean, if you're getting into those numbers that like TJ Watt and Myles Garrett were in last year, you're going to be in that conversation. I think life is made easier for him, too, with the Raiders acquiring Chandler Jones this offseason. Again, it's very similar to what I just said about Christian McCaffrey. Offensive lines won't have to key in just on Max Crosby. They have Chandler Jones to worry about as well on the other side of that edge. So it's going to free him up more to get after the quarterback.
Tyler, love these picks, including the long shot there. Get your 6-pack of beer because we're just going to give up on the apps. Like, that's just never going to be a thing. We appreciate it. By the way, when it comes to football season, it is almost here. CBS Sports Football Pick'em is the best way to step up the competition and fun. You can run a custom picks or a survivor pool with friends. Enter at our CBS Sports Challenge for a chance to win guaranteed weekly and season-long prizes, plus the $100,000 jackpot. Get started now at cbssports.com/football or from the More menu of the CBS Sports app. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.